Michaela Chester here with Stan Becton, our NCAA.com FCS beat reporter. Stan, we're going to preview the FCS National Championship. This is the first time we have a South Dakota State versus North Dakota State rivalry for the FCS title. I know they played in the regular season. What did you take away from that matchup heading into this title game?
Yeah, in the regular season for the Dakota Marker trophy, South Dakota State came back from a 21-7 deficit in that game to come back and win that game by just 2 points. Used a lot of field goals in that game. It was a great game, honestly. A lot closer than the game the year before. But I really think that from that game, we can look at how these teams are very close in talent level and very close as far as to overall skill, really. And that could be something that makes this an exciting title game.
So let's deep dive. First, look at North Dakota State. What should we watch for with this team heading into the title game? I know there are a few injuries.
Yeah, so there's injuries to star fullback Hunter Lupke, to Merrick Williams, starting running back, is not listed on the 2 deep for this game. Neither are the 2 starting defensive tackles. So there's a lot of injuries for those Bison entering this game. But there were injuries in all of the playoff rounds. And I think the Bison have shown that they have the depth. They've been recruiting well over the years. They have a great foundation that's allowed them to kind of get to this title game. But you can watch for the Bison dynasty to try to go for that 10th title in 12 years. It's the greatest dynasty in the history of FCS football, honestly. And when I'm watching them, I think all eyes should be on Cam Miller and how he can lead that offense with all those injuries and see if he can get that job done.
All right, and how about South Dakota State? What should we watch out for with the Jackrabbits heading into the title game?
Yeah, the Jackrabbits from the start of the season to now, most talented team in the country. If you want to look at the skill positions, you have the twin wide receivers, you have the running back, you have Tucker Kraft, arguably the top FCS prospect for the NFL draft at tight end. Mark is the quarterback for that team, and he's coming back from injury. He has a redemption time here in this FCS title game after getting hurt in the last time they made a title game. And then defensively, you have Caleb Sanders plugging up the middle. So just talent across the board for South Dakota State. And I think that talent is something you have to watch out for because you can't really game plan for a team that can attack you from such a multitude of different ways. They're balanced offensively. Just such a talented team. I keep saying that word talent, but it's really just hit that point home, honestly. And when you're watching that South Dakota State team, I think really you just have to watch out for which way are they going to attack you on each play. It's really just going to be a scheme thing for them. They have the FCS Coach of the Year, too, by the way, so that's part of the reason that they're able to scheme up things so well.
So 2 very accomplished teams they've already faced. They're obviously very close to one another in terms of talent, skill, everything. So I want to ask you this. North Dakota State will win if, and South Dakota State will win if. What does each team need to do if they're going to pull off a win?
Yeah, for North Dakota State, I think they will win if they can control the time of possession. Like I said, they have a lot of injuries. So you don't want your players, especially not your defense, out there with the injuries to your defensive front to be out there for a multitude of plays. You want to be able to get them off the field. They have the talent in the secondary returning. You saw in that semifinal game, those 2 picks to close the game. They have the talent in the secondary, but their defensive line is going to be very thin. So they have to control the time of possession offensively. Use that running back by committee aspect to try, and that dominant offensive line. They have to use all of that to try to control that time of possession if they want to win the game. And then for South Dakota State, if they want to win, they have to be successful in the red zone. If you look at the earlier matchup this year, when they got down by all those points, they came back with field goals. They had 3 drives stall out in the red zone. And they can't do that in this championship game. It is a higher level than that early Dakota Marker. Of course, it's still a rivalry. And, of course, South Dakota State has won 3 straight in that rivalry. But if they want to make it forward, they have to score in the red zone. They can't stall out there.
All right. So it comes down to this. Stan, what is your prediction for the game? I'm excited to hear it.
Ooh, my prediction for the game. Now, I'm not going to do a score prediction. That's probably a little bit too far out there. But I think South Dakota State is going to win this game. I predicted them, to win this game at the start of the postseason when I did my bracket. I predicted both teams would be in the championship game. I predicted South Dakota State to win. So I'm going to stick with them, and I think it's all going to come down to just an overwhelming level of talent for South Dakota State. I think those injuries are going to finally catch up to the Bison, and I think the Jackrabbits are just going to be able to basically win a war of attrition, which is the entire football season, basically. And they're going to be able to lift that first title, finally get over that hump. All those failures are out the window from the past. We're finally going to get over that hump and win the title, South Dakota State.
All right, Stan. So you successfully predicted the championship game. Let's see if you predict the title winner correctly. We will see in that FCS national championship. Thank you so much for joining me, breaking it down. It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you.